Death is one of the hardest things people have to deal with. The birth and the death of my first grandchild was devastating for me. It was devastating from the beginning, finding out that my daughter was pregnant. I felt like she wasn't ready to have any children. But as the time went on, I got better with the idea of her having a child. And when my granddaughter Zuri was born, she was born in Okinawa, Japan. Something was wrong, and they couldn't find out. Well, not find out. They didn't know. And as my daughter was talking to me, and she was just telling me some stuff, and I don't know where it came from at that time. It was like I told her to check her stomach, and when they did check her stomach, that's when they found out that her intestines were all in a knot. That was a problem. That was one of the problems she was dealing with, being a newborn. So while they were there, the doctors asked my daughter, how did she know? She said, well, my mom told me to check there. And because they never even thought about checking her stomach. Well, she had to end up having surgery. After having the surgery, they had to remove 80% of her intestine, which left her with a GI tube. They moved her from Okinawa, Japan they flew into Hawaii. From Hawaii, I think they made one more stop, but I can't remember where it was. And they came to Texas. And they was at San Antonio at the Lackland Air Force Base. And when me and my other children, we went to visit her. And when we got there, we were so excited that we just ran off and left my daughter, Jackie, in the parking lot. And then we realized when we got to the hospital, we didn't know where we were going, so we had to stop at the door. And she out in the parking lot looking at us laughing because she realized that we all realized that we didn't know where we were going. So we did go to where she was, and it was truly an experience. It was like everybody was fighting to hold her. She's a little bitty thing, but she had so much power being so small. It was just, she had us captivated. We just couldn't get enough of her. And it was like when she was in the hospital, I think the bond that I had with her was, super. For her to be so small, she had so much power over me. If she got sick at the hospital, went through a crisis or anything, I knew it. I would get up in the middle of the night and leave from where I live in Bay City, Texas, to go to San Antonio. And they would be, well, how did you know? I don't know. I just hear her call my name and call her the grandma. And I would get up and I would go. It was several times that I would get up in the middle of the night and just drive because I knew she was sick, and it was like she was calling me. I could hear her, and she couldn't talk. She was in ICU, neonatal care, but I heard her. I remember one day my second daughter, Rhonda, was sick, and she was at home with the flu. And I left my house to go get her some medicine. And when I got to the end of the street, and to turn to go to the store to get the medicine, I turned the opposite way. Not even thinking twice about my daughter at home sick. I drove straight to San Antonio. to where she was. And they had worked on her. And again, I surprised them because they didn't know I was coming. And when I went up there, and it's like, they wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't say anything because they didn't understand how I came up there. Why? Right when she had a crisis, or when she was going through a crisis, I would be on the road or something. They didn't realize, and like I told them, it was just, I heard her call me, and I left. And then when I came back from San Antonio, after everything was back like it's supposed to be, my daughter said, I knew you went to see Zuri. Yeah, because she called me. I can hear her when nobody else could. I remember a couple of times I went up there and my daughter was working, and she would come up there and find me up there. And one time she got mad at me because I was there. Well, they didn't call me. I said, they didn't call me either. I just knew that she needed me. And when she needed me, I stopped whatever I was doing to go up there where she was. And I remember the holidays, I'm not for sure. I'm thinking it was either Easter or either Thanksgiving. My daughter was up there and she wasn't able to come home. So what we did was we gathered all the food that I cooked and took it where she was, and we fed the people in the place where she was staying at for Thanksgiving, because they wasn't able to leave to go home either. So whatever I cooked, we took it up there, and we ate there. We had a good time, and I just like, this child came unexpected, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I really wasn't ready for her. I really wasn't ready for her. I don't know if I thought that I was too young to be a grandmother. I don't know what the deal was. But when she got here, my whole life took a turn for the better. But she lived 8 months. And I remember she used to have these crises. Once she was released from the military base to go to a regular doctor, that was, I just didn't like them because they didn't take care of her like the military did. Even though there was a lot of children in that hospital, the military people, they took very good care of those kids compared to taking them out to the civilian. It was, I don't know, I didn't like them because of the care that was given to her. She kept having different crises. At one time, we had to have her life flighted from Bay City to Houston, and she stayed in the hospital for a while. And I just thinking back over the time that I wasn't working. I wasn't working. But I still drove, going places like I had a job. I had just lost my job, and that's when I say, well, I know God did this for a reason, because He knew that I was needed, and He took care of me through all that. I mean, I didn't want for nothing. I had gas, my vehicle wasn't the best vehicle, but it took me back and forth all the time. And then one day, she got sick, and my daughter we took her to the hospital. And when we took her there, and for a while I held myself responsible for her death, for the fact that the way that the hospital took care of her in Bay City I didn't like it. And instead of just asking somebody to, that was there in the ambulance, people that I knew to take her to another place, we left her there. That was July the 3rd. And the next day was the day she died. She died on the 4th of July. I remember when my daughter Rhonda called and said something was wrong, and my daughter Jackie, Zuri's mom, had just made it to the house, and all I know is I can hear her in the background, and to this day that voice, that sound, I'll never forget. So we jumped in the car, and I remember all I had, I looked like a hot-aid mess. My hair wasn't combed. I had on my night clothes. I had no shoes on. We got in that car, and all I know is from my house to the hospital, we did not stop. All I did was blow my horn. And when we got there, we were told we couldn't go in the room they was working on. I'm thinking that's how it was, that we couldn't go in there because she was working. Then I don't know, she had passed before we got there. She passed when we got there. But anyway, my whole life changed. My whole life changed. I would say for the bad, but for the worse. Because it brought my family closer together. I was so angry at myself. Then I was angry at God because for Him to give us something to bring us so much joy, He took it back. I was so angry. I remember the day that I had to break the news to my son. I had my friend and I had to go to Austin. And that trip it was a nice trip. It was like we could never find this building. I think we rode around for about 30 minutes till we found the building. And then I had to tell him, I had to come up there to get him because his niece had passed. Well, no, I didn't tell him there. I don't know if I told him there or did I tell him when I got home. But it was so hard. It was so hard. I remember walking in the courtyard out at University of Texas. I think that's the name of the school in Austin. But my friend Cynthia, who never went to church, I can't say she didn't believe in God, but I was walking in that courtyard, and I just stopped. And I just looked up to the sky, and my words are, who in the hell you think you are? How dare you come into my life and you just tap my family? You didn't ask me nothing. You didn't tell me nothing. You just came in and took my grandbaby. You didn't say nothing. No warning, no nothing. And I was so angry. And I think back at my friend Cynthia. I look back, she wasn't there. She had left me in that courtyard. She said, girl, I thought God was going to kill you right there because how you approached Him. Because I was angry. I was very, very angry. the funeral was, we had the funeral, and I never wanted nobody to know or see me cry. I mean, I remember used to go and get my hair done, and it'd be so hard that I would go, to keep from people knowing that I was crying, I would go get in the shower. I just paid to get my hair done, get in the shower, before I can get the water in my face, for it to look like I got soap in my eye, water in my eyes. Keep from everybody knowing that I was really hurting. I was really, really, really hurting on the inside. Then one night, setting up, I was looking at country western videos, and there was this one video came on by Rita McIntyre. Yeah, Rita McIntyre, I think that's her name. And it was like, what would you say? Well, it was about this lady. She had 2 kids, and she was a very pretty lady. And it started out with the son and the dad in the car, and they was riding, and they seen this adult movie place, and the son asked the daddy a question. And it went on to show the daughter growing up, and they allowed her to go to a party. And while at the party, the daughter she was drinking, but she did call her mom to come pick her up. And as the video went on, the lady, who you would never ever thought when you seen her how pretty she was, took off her wig. And she was dying of cancer. We would have never known. I mean, just took it off. And she went on to go to the hospital. And the family came in, and when at the end of the video, the mom had passed. And it was like, that was my wake-up call from God. It's like, he made her death okay with me. He made it okay with me, because he could have let her stay and died later. 8 months was hard, so I could just imagine the parents that lose children that had them for years, and they pass. And he just showed me that Zuri was tired. She was in and out of the hospital, being sick, blood transfusions. She was tired. We wasn't tired, but her little body was tired. And that's how I dealt with her death later on. That video made me feel better, because at 8 months, I figured like that wasn't, I didn't have her long enough. But God said, you can deal with it better at 8 months than 8 years, 18 years. And I could. It took me, the medicine that she had, we had to give her through that GI tube. It took me, it took me many years to get rid of it. I kept it in the refrigerator. I kept her medicine schedule on the refrigerator. And I don't know, one day, it was like, you need to get rid of it. And I fought for a long time, because I felt like if I got rid of that, I got rid of her. And I don't know. It was something strong for us. I finally got it out. I put it in the trash. And the trash man came, took that trash can away. I just broke down because I felt like I had thrown her away. I wanted so bad to stop that trash truck, give me my baby back. It was so hard. That was so hard. But I got so many memories. It's just truly amazing how many memories you can have from 8 months. I'm 56 years old. But just the memories that you can pick up at 8 months. I mean, like, it's not a lot of time, but golly, that was a lot of memories in there. A lot of memories. Good memories. The love that this child brought into my family. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. She had a big impact on my family. And I would trade those 8 months for nothing. But if I had a chance, if I could have, I would have traded my life for her to live, to grow up. I mean, man, it's, I don't see how people don't want to have children. I don't see how people don't want to be a grandmother, grandparent. Awesome feeling. Wouldn't trade it. Wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. I have 9 more. Wouldn't trade them for nothing in the world. But I just said, 8 months. 8 months. How your life is impacted by a small person that couldn't talk at all. I think I'm not sad anymore. I have so many memories of her. Like I said, 8 months. The playpen I still have. I have a first set of Borettes. I still have. I have an Easter dress. That's the physical things. But the memories are last a lifetime. And it's just been awesome. Really awesome. Really awesome. Her death made me appreciate my children more, my grandkids more. But the whole thing, when it comes down to it, it taught me how to pray and love God. It taught me that. Because I didn't know that later on down the line, my life was going to do an altar and prepared me so I can pray, know how to pray, know how to cry, know what I need to do. So I look at it, she served her purpose and she served it well. She was preparing me for the things that was going to come later on, that I know that I wouldn't, just knowing now, if it wasn't for her, I know I wouldn't have been able to handle them. So, Zeri was my angel. She's still my angel. I tease all the time, if we don't never make it to heaven, we do have representatives up there. And secretly deep down inside, I would love to have an artist draw a picture of her or what they think she would look like now. That has been my dream for the longest. I just want to know what she would look like now based on the pictures that we have of her. That's it.